everyone, I'm Jamie and today I am here with three very special young friends, sibling trio, Joanna, Matthew and Christopher. Here's a question I have for you. Where did Marvel get their inspiration to write Infinity War and Endgame?
Isn't that a trick question?
Isn't it quite obvious that they took the movie from the comic book?
Okay Chris, since you are the most familiar with the comic, why don't you give us a quick summary of what the comics are about?
Okay. So, Thanos discovers the power of the 6 Infinity Gems, and he travels around the universe to collect them. And after collecting them, he tries to win the love of Lady Death by vanishing half the living things in the universe. So Adam Warlock gathers the cosmic powers and a team of heroes to attack Thanos. But Thanos kills all the heroes and traps the cosmic powers in a space where time has stopped. So then Nebula, she steals the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos and banishes him, but somehow he gets brought to Earth through a portal made by Doctor Strange. Then Thanos teams up with Warlock, Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer to fight Nebula. Warlock gets the gauntlet, but in the end, the living tribunal judged Warlock to be unfit for the power of the universe, and the gems are given to the Infinity Watch for protection.
There isn't much in common between the comic and the movie.
Yeah, there was no Adam Warlock, in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And Thanos even joined the good guys in the comic.
As I shared with you guys after the movie, I found that there is this very uncanny resemblance between the movie and another book.
Yeah, you mentioned another book, but like, what book is this?
The Book
Oh.
of Revelation.
What?
So the Book of Revelation is the last book of the Bible,
Avengers
right?
Revelation.
And it's an ancient apocalyptic book which reveals the things that are to take place. And so the 6 key events are, number 1, the rapture.
Isn't the snap in Avengers kind of like the rapture in Revelation, where believers in Jesus are like taken and like disappear on earth and are taken up to be in heaven with God?
And do you remember how
Because, like-
Jesus described that rapture?
Oh, he said 2 people will be working, one will be taken and one will be left.
Don't you guys think that the visual imagery of the snap is almost exactly the way Jesus described the rapture? Let's move on to the next event in Revelation, the judgments on earth. During this time, there's going to be hail, there'll be fire, trees will be burned up. And here's an interesting one. It's going to be something like a great mountain burning with fire that was thrown into the sea.
They look like mountains falling down.
The third key event of Revelation, the Battle of Armageddon. Revelation describes this place where a river has dried up, where there are unclean spirits that look like frogs, and where the kings of the earth gather to battle, and this place is called Armageddon.
Yeah, did you guys notice the camera angle showed the men running downhill into a valley with like this dried up river?
And we definitely see a river there, but it's interesting that you mentioned a valley, because Revelation doesn't specifically mention the word valley. But that word Armageddon, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Armageddon, the Hebrew word for that is Ha-Megiddo. And that's an actual place in Israel called the Jezreel Valley.
Thanos' army is full of those weird-looking aliens.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's check out how these aliens match the descriptions of the demons in Revelation. So here I have it. On their heads were crowns of something like gold. You guys see that?
Oh, crowns of gold, okay.
Their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like women's hair.
Oh, like those 2 curly things next to the Chitara's
yeah.
face.
And their teeth were like lion's teeth.
Wow.
The Outriders, right?
I mean, Outriders, Leviathan.
Their wings sounded like chariots of horses in battle.
That's like Leviathan.
And their tails like scorpions with stings in their tails.
Did you guys ever wonder how did they come up with these interesting alien names like Chitauri, Leviathan? It's
Oh,
so
Joe,
interesting.
do you know that the Leviathan is actually a creature in the Bible? And in Revelation, Jesus wins the battle, captures Satan, which now brings me to the 4th key event in Revelation. Satan is then bound for 1,000 years. Anyone recall anything about 1,000 years in the movie?
1,000 years in Avengers. What?
The Endgame trailer.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man.
I mean, do you think it was a coincidence? I mean, this was the opening line of the trailer, right? And this line, Tony Stark didn't even say it in the movie, right? I mean, it was written specifically for the trailer.
Just for the trailer.
Dude, this is starting to sound exactly like the storyline from Revelation.
Yeah.
You know, from the rapture to the judgments on earth to the battle of Armageddon and Satan bound for 1,000 years. Dude, what's next?
The fifth event, the final battle. So in Revelation, after the 1,000 years is up, Satan is released. He goes out to the four corners of the earth, gathers himself a massive army that is described as whose number is as the sand of the sea. Is this not like the description in Revelation? Like whose number is as the sand of the sea?
Oh, yeah.
It's massive. During this battle, fire comes down from heaven and devours them.
Rain fire!
So the book of Revelation ends with a climax. You know, this eternal resting place, there's a new heaven and a new earth. The Garden of Eden is restored and God lives with his people forever. Does this place ring any bells with you guys?
I finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe.
I can tell you where Thanos is. To the garden.
In fact, I've got a few more interesting ones to share with you. So in Avengers, you have this group of characters fighting against Thanos. In Revelation, there's also a group of characters, but they're fighting against God. And in this group, you have the dragon, you've got the beast, the false prophet, the harlot, Gog and Magog, death and Hades. You know, but here's the twist. In Revelation, you have this group of bad guys fighting against God, who is good. But in Avengers, it's flipped. You have a group of good guys fighting against Thanos, who is evil. In Revelation, God is the Avenger, but in the movie, men are the Avengers. Right? So this is, you know, in fact, this was a consistent pattern that I picked up throughout the movie. You know, it's like a narrative with parallels, but then somehow the parallels are flipped or twisted.
It's like the rapture and the snap, where the rapture is good, but the snap is bad.
Or like the garden in Revelations, where God lives with his people, but the garden in Avengers is where Thanos lives in a tiny hut in seclusion.
It's like,
It's a parallel, but with a twist.
And God called down fire in Revelation, and Thanos shouted to rain fire in Endgame, right?
Yep.
Does that mean that Thanos in the movie is like a twisted or flipped parallel version of God?
Okay, whoa. I need to think a little bit more about this because so far for me it does seem like there are some twisted parallels between Avengers and Revelation, but I'm not sure if I see Thanos as a parallel to God because, like, okay, Thanos is not even a god in Avengers.
What I can do is I'll just show you guys, okay, some of the things that Thanos says and does, and then you can judge for yourself if they are parallels or not parallels or maybe twisted parallels. Do you remember the time where God appeared to Moses and asked him to go back to Egypt and tell the Israelites that he sent them to set them free? Moses asked God, right, but who do I tell them sent me? And what did God say?
I am.
That's right? So in the Bible, God calls himself the I am.
And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
So now do you remember when God appeared to the Israelites at Mount Sinai? Right? How did they know that it was God?
There was thunder, lightning, and smoke.
Okay, so when Jesus was on earth, he taught the disciples how to pray. How did he pray?
He said, "Our Father in heaven, will be your name."
That's right, our Father, right? So in the Bible, God is a father, and who are his children?
Everyone who puts their faith in Jesus Christ.
2 more stones on earth. Find them, my children, and bring them to me untightly.
Father, we will not fail you.
And what has Jesus asked the children of God to do?
Preach the gospel so that all who believe in Jesus will be saved.
Every human being has sinned, and the rightful punishment for sin is death. But because of God's mercy and his great love for us, he sent his one and only Son, Jesus Christ, to die for us. Then Jesus rose from the dead to life, and those who believe in him will also resurrect to life after death.
This is God's free gift of eternal life, and that's why we can rejoice and praise God with all our hearts because of this undeserved salvation.
All 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
Because you murdered half the planet.
A small price to pay for salvation.
Hear me and rejoice. You have had the privilege of being saved by the great Titan. You may think this is suffering. No. It is salvation. The universal scales tip toward balance because of your sacrifice. Smile. For even in death, you have become children of Thanos.
No resurrections this time.
Choose a side or die. One side is a revelation, the other an honor known only to a few. Now go in peace and meet your maker.
Father, children, joys, salvation, children of Thanos. If you had to name the greatest act of love in history, what would it be?
God sending down his only son to die for us.
And was Jesus forced to do this, or did he willingly give up his life?
Willingly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he said like if he wanted to, he could call down a whole army of angels to come and save him.
Yeah.
But the fact is that he chose not to. He willingly did it.
The stone demands a sacrifice.
Of what?
In order to take the stone, you must lose that which you love.
When Jesus was on earth, remember he sent out his disciples into the cities to preach and to heal?
Send them out in pairs.
Hear me and rejoice. You are about to die at the hands of the children of Thanos.
Instead of being sent out to preach and heal in Paris, they're actually sent out to preach and kill in Paris.
Revelation describes the throne room of heaven, you know, this place where God sits on the throne. There's a rainbow around the throne.
Wow.
There are voices of angels and the living creatures and the people of God, you know, they're singing songs to God. And this room is just so full of joy, such a vibrant place. And now in contrast, let's take a look at the very dark and dreary throne room in the movie.
I always hated that chair.
So I've been told. Even so, I'd hoped you'd sit in it one day.
I hated this room.
Well guys, I'm going to end with one last clip.
Let me ask you this one time. What master do you serve?
What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
JJJ, do you think these parallels or twisted parallels could be just coincidences?
In my view, you know, I do believe that the filmmakers were actually led to do this.
What do you mean by led?
Led by Satan, you know, the evil one who led the revolt against God in Revelation and who eventually was cast into the lake of fire. I mean, Satan definitely wants a different ending,
Right.
right? And that's a story he would want the world to believe. So why not twist the stories and the characters, you know, to tell his version of a story through the highest grossing film of all time? Again, this is my personal take. You don't have to agree with me. I presented the parallels, you know, whether it's a coincidence, whether it's premeditated, or whether it's led. I think you can draw your own conclusions from that. You know, Winston Churchill said this: the most valuable thing in the world is truth. It is so valuable that it has often been barricaded by a bodyguard of lies. You know, if revelation is false, then yeah, it's of no importance to you. But if revelation is true, it is of great importance because your life matters. You know, where you will spend or with whom you will spend eternity hinges upon knowing the truth. And if you're interested to learn more about the book of Revelation, guys, I'm thinking that maybe we could do a short video series called like Exploring Revelation for your friends.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty good since I haven't really read Revelation. Yeah, because I much prefer talking to you.
Thanks so much, guys. This has really been quite a conversation.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you so
JJ.
much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys, and thanks, JJ. And thank you guys for joining us on this conversation. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. If you liked it, please remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with any Marvel fans you think might enjoy this or just be really like inspired by or like have their eyes opened by this video. And yeah, you can subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more videos just like this. And follow our social medias here. And maybe down here too. Wherever they get placed on the screen.
Oh, we love you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Alright, bye.
Bye.